Hi, welcome to Paranormal Kativity. I'm joined today by a bunch of birds outside, so I apologize in advance if you can hear them and it's annoying, but they kind of stopped a little bit. Today I wanted to talk about the black stickman phenomena. I have heard of some weird things, but this is one that kind of takes the cake. And I heard of it a little while back, probably 5 years ago or so, when Alex's mom had found a YouTube video talking about like the vast number of species of aliens that could potentially exist in the universe. And she'd mentioned that there were ones that looked like stick figures. And I was really confused by this and not sure how that would be possible, but I was interested in the phenomena and I thought, you know, that's cool that some people believe that. Fast forward to just recently, and I start hearing basically like ghost stories and paranormal encounters with stickmen. And I was immediately brought back to that memory because that's the only other connotation I have for such a sighting. So I was really interested to find out more about this because there has to be more to it if people are claiming its existence across different ways of belief, basically. So I did a little bit more research, and the black stickman phenomena is kind of blowing up. It seems like it's more recently become a thing, and I know that there's a subreddit completely dedicated to the black stickman phenomena. A lot of people are citing this, and they don't really know what it is. So what the interaction really entails is sighting a stick figure. And to some people, they describe it as being two-dimensional. Most of them describe it as three-dimensional, so it can change direction and its appendages and its body will stay the same size regardless of which direction it turns. But it essentially looks like a stick figure that you'd see like on a bathroom sign or in a badly drawn cartoon, or like the Halloween costumes that became super popular last year with the LED stick figure people. But these are solid black stick figure beings with a circular head. The size of the stickmen can change. And this isn't just different from person to person with their own experience. There are instances of one person who sees this entity on a regular basis, and each time it's slightly different, but they know it's the same thing. I even read somewhere that somebody saw a stick figure creature with it that looked kind of like a horse, but it was not. It was in the same style as the entity they were seeing. So this just brings up a ton of questions in general as to what it is and where it comes from. They also move in weird ways. Some people describe them as walking normally. Some people say they glide. And a lot of people report that they kind of gallop. Like, as they walk, they just don't walk normally. There are 0 reports of people actually being touched by them or having a personal, like, one-on-one encounter with them. All of the times that they see them from a distance, and it's like they're doing their own thing, you're doing your own thing, and they won't intervene. Like, they won't come into contact with you, but they may see you and watch from a distance, but they're not going to get involved with you and you're not going to be able to get involved with them. Is kind of like the vibe that's out there about them. Something else that seems to be a universal experience with people whenever they see one of these beings is atmospheric changes. Now this can be a difference in air pressure, which I'm sure everybody's experienced from time to time, where like you can kind of feel it in your ears. It almost sounds like the room has more space. It's slightly different. I'm sure you know what I mean. It's especially noticeable whenever like a storm is rolling in and you can kind of feel like the air change as it's coming in. But some people report that kind of sensation of air pressure, but they also have descriptions of like an almost static energy around the air and the environment whenever they have one of these sightings. And not only does it feel kind of like that, there's even reports of like the sound of static faintly coming into the area where they're at. So like the entire environment has almost like an electricity, like a difference that's palpable, that's noticeable whenever these beings are around. As to what these beings are, I have no idea, and neither does anyone else. It seems like, you know, when I first heard about it, a lot of people felt like it could be an extraterrestrial entity that could exist out there in the ether somewhere, you know? But now, with the way that the interactions are coming across, you know, some people are describing it as a paranormal encounter. So, you know, with paranormal encounters, we don't necessarily know what they are. It could be a potential energy of a person that was once here, and that's just the way that they can manifest for us to be able to see them now. Or it could be something other dimensional, that this is just the only way we can perceive it, which seems logical in our heads because it almost appears two-dimensional, and to some people it actually does look two-dimensional, but at the same time that almost doesn't make sense. It's almost like a simplified form because whatever form they actually are taking might be too complex for people to really comprehend. So it could be like a universal misunderstanding almost. If something can't exist, you can't fathom it, then you're not going to be able to see or understand it until it's there. From a distance too, I think it's interesting that seeing them with their very skinny bodies and round heads, and the fact that Slender Man went from being a creepypasta to being something that some people actually believe in, which I have a whole video coming up regarding Slender Man and the phenomena that is this story becoming so involved in people's mind and in people's lives that it's almost developed a life of its own outside of just being a fictional story. But what if some of the people who claim to have actually seen Slender Man are seeing this kind of entity, where it just looks like a large skinny figure, especially if they can change height, you know, who's to say? Since they don't interact with people really, and don't get involved with what we're doing, it just opens a lot of doors of possibility as to like, well, why? Why are they here in the first place? What's the deal? I just wanted to bring this subject up, bring it to your guys' attention, because it's super weird, very interesting, and I'm dumbfounded. Like, I really desperately want to have an encounter with these things. If you guys have ever had any experience with something like this, please tell me about it, because I would love to know. It's just one of the coolest, newest entities that I've heard of, and I'm totally into it. I think it's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. If you liked this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up. If you didn't, you can leave a thumbs down. That's cool too. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and turn on notifications. That way you get notified every time I upload. I'm Kat, and this is Paranormal Kativity. Have a strange day. Bye!